Hi everyone, welcome back. This is going to be the chapter 10 mini lecture. Sorry I'm getting it up so late. I was expecting to do it a little sooner, but it's fine. As you guys probably saw already, I did extend the deadlines for it on Canvas, and so I hope that is helpful during these times. And so today we're going to go over the advantages to group problem solving, the dimensions of all problem solving groups, how does one structure and manage group problem solving work, and the approaches to effective leadership. So advantages to group problem solving include that members are more satisfied with the conclusions and recommendations if they participated in the discussion. They have more available information by tapping into the experiences of all group members, and they come up with more creative ideas and solutions. So the dimensions for all group problem solving needs a balance of structure and interaction. And so basically, it's moderating the way a group discussion is organized, focusing on the agenda, while also allowing dialogue to occur naturally during the discussion. So it's kind of keeping that balance of, okay, like let's talk and have fun and enjoy what we have to say, but also we need to get what we need to get done today. All right. And so there's 3 types of leadership styles that you can have in a group. Well, there's more than these 3, but these are the main ones that are discussed in the book. So there's authoritarian, which refers to more of a one person in control and everyone just kind of listens to the person. There's usually a delegator where one person is kind of ensuring that all of the other peoples are doing what they need to do. Democratic obviously is going to refer to kind of like equal participation. Everyone kind of gets a say, and majority rule wins. Laissez-faire is more so referring to, so it's more of a worker controlled perspective to where everyone kind of has a general theme, but other than that, individual members are able to kind of put more of their creative stylistic choices into it. All right, and so how to structure group problem solving. And so this is going to be the next assignment that you guys are going to work on, so the problem solving report. And so the first step is identifying and defining the problem. The second step is analyzing the problem. The third one is generating creative solutions. The fourth one is selecting the best solution, and the fifth one is taking action. And so this kind of is based off of John Dewey's How We Think, in kind of structuring a problem. It doesn't necessarily have to be problem solution, but in order to solve a problem, yes. So practicing with Texas State, this also is in the guidebook. And so obviously parking at Texas State is not allowed as a topic because it's already been done. And so why would we let you do something that you could just copy off of? But the first step is identifying and defining the problem. And so for this example, it's going to be the parking at Texas State. So what do we want more of? We want to increase parking at Texas State, and what terms need defining. So what does increase mean? What does parking and for who mean? What does Texas State mean? So in this case, they want you to consider all of these different concepts that you need to think of more clearly. So for example, you want to increase parking at Texas State. Okay, parking for who? Parking for faculty, parking for staff, parking for students, parking for visitors, who knows? So I think it's important to make sure to clarify these little issues so that your problem can be as specific as possible. It also wants to understand, like, what does increase mean? How much more increase? Do you mean just one more lot, two more lots, a whole separate section on top of that? Then moving on to analyzing the problem, you want to find answers to the following questions. And there is this, the example is in the guidebook as well as all of the questions specifically. I'm not addressing all of them here. I'm just kind of helping you guys walk through it. So for step 2, you're going to want to think about how long has this been a problem, how widespread is the problem, what are the causes, the effects, and what has been done before. And so these are kind of the questions you want to think about when finding out the background of your problem. And so then you want to develop criteria or standards for your solution. How will you gauge the solutions as good enough? So you can use a force field analysis, and so through driving and restraining, but basically you want to make sure you want to set up your baseline acceptance levels of what your solution should hold. So for example, going back to step 1, going back to the parking. So one of the criteria for our solutions is to increase the numerical value of parking spots. And then you can kind of set up other parameters. We want the extra parking to be within X miles of campus, or we want it to be along a bus route, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the criteria would hold for your solution is what you want to clarify. Another thing as well is you will need sources again for this assignment. And so specifically, you will need them in 1, 2, and 5 of each step. But moving on to step 3, generating creative solutions. So brainstorming is a term in chapter 10 that kind of talks about the technique for generating solutions to a problem by withholding evaluation while a group member suggests ideas. So this is kind of the first step where everyone's just kind of throwing out ideas, you know, first thing that comes into your head when discussing the topic for your group presentation. So for example, going back to the Texas State example, you could think about, okay, what are some solutions? We could have them build a parking lot similar to the one by Jones, and that way, you know, more people can use it because it will have multiple layers. Or Texas State needs to buy a lot at the edge of San Marcos and have it have 500 parking spots for commuters so that they can ride the bus, or blah, 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 or have the dorm students move over there, or whatever the potential solutions could be. There's also other terms such as nominal group technique. I would recommend going back to the book because there are certain terms that you will need to include within certain steps of your problem solving report. And like I said, I'd recommend looking at the rubric so you know exactly where while you are completing your assignment. There is also, like I said, examples of these assignments in the guidebook. And so that way you can kind of have a baseline understanding of what it should resemble. The last step is going, or not the last step, but the next step is going to be selecting the best solution. And so it wants you to kind of sit back, reflect, you know, does the solution that you guys chose as a group meet your criteria that you made in the beginning? How does the solution solve problems, both long-term and short-term? And then do you even have the resources to implement that solution? So thinking about going back to the Texas State example, so say there's no way that Texas State can afford to build another garage, a parking garage so close to campus, both because of the price of the land, but also the price of building a new building. And so that's going to be a limitation to whether that solution is going to be the best solution. Then it's going to be take action. So execute the plan. How do you know how do you know the solution will solve the problem? What are the ethical consequences, and what are the ethical consequences of both selecting or not selecting your solution? So for example, going back to the parking example, say we did run through with suggesting that Texas State should build a parking garage, but have it be on the edge of San Marcos, so that way the land will be more affordable and building resources could get there more easily, hypothetically. So thinking about it that way, you would know that the solution would solve the problem, because obviously when you build a parking garage, there will be more spots. But then when you think of the ethical consequences of selecting, your solution would be, okay, so there's more parking spots, but now Texas State owns more land in San Marcos and it's spread out further. So now they have to create a new bus route, and just kind of go on so on and so forth, as you can kind of think, kind of get as big as you can, like if they have to build it so far away from Texas State, you could get held up by the train. And then if you get held up by the train, students can fail. And because it's a commuter parking lot, commuter students start to not do as well in school. And so they have to drop out. And like, think of how crazy and fun you can get with it. Same thing with not selecting the option. So if you don't choose my idea, then of building a parking lot away from campus for more parking spots, students will continue to run out of parking on campus until there's nowhere left to park. And so no one can even go to class anyway, because no one can find spots, And so one thing that kind of helps going through when you are completing this project is imagine that Texas State is asking you to solve a problem in the field that of the group that you got. So for example, going back to parking, in this example, you are going to go to Texas State with that problem and offer a solution, hopefully, that Texas State would want to implement within their structure. And so as you continue within the project, always keep in mind the communication principles that we learned. So always remember to be aware, be conscious of your verbal messages, your nonverbal messages, listen and respond thoughtfully, and then adapt your messages as you go. So we went over how does one structure and manage group problem solving. So that goes, and again, these are the 5 steps of the Dewey problem solving report. So it's identify and define the problem, analyze the problem, brainstorm creative solutions, select the best solution, and then take action. And I hope y'all enjoyed that. See y'all next time.